It is episode 41 of the Redmont Rangers Road to Glory career mode here on EAFC 24. And at the beginning of this episode, I have some explaining to do. This is the second time I'm recording episode 41. What happened in the last episode was we beat Stevenage in our first game of the episode away 4-1. We then proceeded to simulate the next two games and we lost them both. So that was against Northampton and it was against, I believe, Reading. That resulted in us, in Hans Newman actually getting fired. Obviously the Redmont Rangers career mode is a road to glory. It can't stop there. We can't not make it 2 seasons as Redmont Rangers head coach. So what I did was I thought about a couple of things. I thought potentially stick with Hans Newman and move to a different club. So Exeter were the only club willing to take Hans Newman on. So I thought potentially we move to Exeter. It's not a Redmont Rangers Road to Glory career mode anymore, but it's still a Road to Glory. Exeter in League One. They were hanging around the relegation spots. Maybe we can take them up the table and into the Championship. But that just didn't quite feel right. It's a Redmont Rangers Road to Glory. We've got to know these players. We've built this squad in our image. So it had to be Redmont. So what I ended up doing was actually simulating game by game and basically ensuring that Hans Newman kept his job. So the objectives that the board set for us at the beginning of Season 2 was to gain automatic promotion. We were in and around the playoffs for a great deal of the season, but it was dropping out of the playoffs that led to Hans Newman losing his job. So what I did was simulate game by game, made sure that we won each game so that we could get back up into the playoffs. We actually finished in 6th position on the final day of the season, jumping over Plymouth, who dropped out into 7th place, but then I just allowed us to lose in the playoffs. So essentially what's happened is we dropped out of the playoffs. We finished in, let's say, 8th place, for example, and Hans Newman continues as Redmont Rangers boss for Season 3, but we're still in League One. So I thought that was the best way to handle things, really. So yes, I did simulate all of those games and forced us to win, basically, but that was really just to overcome the outrageous objectives that the board set for us and the ridiculously fickle coach firing system that seems always to be in FIFA. Redmont Rangers were promoted in Season 1 under Hans Newman. We almost made the playoffs in a brand new league in Season 2. He definitely should not have got the sack. But we are still in League 1, so it's not like I've cheated it and gone all the way up to the Championship by forcing wins. I've forced wins just so we can stay in League 1 and Hans Newman can continue on as head coach and we can carry on the road to glory from there. So this is at the very beginning of Season 3. So we do get the option to customise our club again. We are going to keep everything the same except for the home kit, which is going to get a change this season. We changed the away and the third kits last year. It's going to be the home kit that gets a change this year. I haven't really looked at these. I haven't thought about really what I want the kit to look like this season. We could go with a bit more of a traditional striped kit with red shorts. That doesn't look too bad at all. I actually quite like the look of that. We could go with some horizontal stripes. That looks a bit more like a rugby kit to me than a football kit though. We could go some pinstripes as well. That actually looks like a very nice kit. I want something similar to the original. So that's definitely an option. That's our away kit. Actually, yeah, if we go with the pinstripe, it's going to look a little too similar to our away kit, I think. I don't like those stripes. That's actually quite a nice looking kit. I feel like that one needs a sponsor to look really good though. I want to keep the colour scheme the same, so I'm not going to mess around with primary and secondary colours and that kind of thing. We've got another kind of more red based kit there with black stripes. This was our third kit in Season 1, but with a different colourway. Bit of a retro look there. It's not a bad one. I'm not sure I like it for this season, but maybe we bust that out in a future season, because that actually looks pretty cool as like a retro kind of style kit. I think we're going to go with one of those ones near the top though. Yeah, we're down into the Umbro now, so we're definitely an Adidas sponsored club. So I think it's these pinstripes or with the red. I think maybe I'll go with the more red-based striped kit in Season 3. That's going to be too similar to our third kit as well with so much black. So I think we'll go with that one for this season. A slight change to the home kit. Club crest will remain the same and the stadium will remain the same. So we're into Season 3. So let's check out the bits and pieces that we get at the start of this new season. And that should include a transfer budget increase all the way up to almost 5 million this year, which is really good. Shields does have another transfer offer. So what I was hoping might be the case at the start of this episode as well is that Jasper Shields would have rescinded his transfer request. Doesn't look like that is the case. We did have to accept an offer for Rory Bullock as well at the end of last season, so he leaves. Elliot Willis leaves the club as well, so his contract just expires. That should be the same for Jamie Ford as well. Paris Magoma goes back to Brentford. So let's quickly check out Jasper Shields, and he has still submitted that transfer request. That kit looks good actually, I like that. I think that's a good choice. So unfortunately we are going to have to sell Jasper Shields. I'd quite like him to go to an English club though. Like a championship club I think would be fairly realistic. Let's check out the objectives whilst we're here. So critical is our youth development objective. I thought these might change. I think I set youth as critical, financial as high, brand exposure as medium, and then domestic and continental as low in the first season. But it looks like those are going to carry over. So we need to sign 2 defenders to the youth academy. We need to sign at least 3 players with potential greater than the overall rating of players in the same position. So very much still trying to build our youth squad. We need 5 wins in away matches. That should be doable. We need to sign a crucial first team midfielder. That's definitely something I'm interested in. So we need a wide midfielder slash winger who is very, very pacey. So I'm definitely looking to meet that. That financial objective still hasn't renewed. I think it's because the long-term one needs to be completed within 3 seasons, and it is the last season that we've got to do that. So selling Jasper Shields is actually a good idea because that is going to contribute to that 4.25 million we need to make from youth player sales. So that's a good thing. We need to win the league title this year. That is my objective. We just missed out on the playoffs last year. We're making sure we get promoted this year with an automatic promotion place. So let's check out the squad. We are really, really low on centre backs. We've got Caleb Taylor, Jesse Cartwright, and Jeriel Dorset, and that is it. We've got Duarte and Zoroya at left back, which is a good situation. We've got Key and De Silva at right back, which is also looking good. Centre midfield, we've got Sam Ford, Brandon Anderson, Jasper Shields still is going to be on the way out, and Michael Garbett. So we need an influx of talent there as well. Brett Gibbs, I'm actually happy to sell. He doesn't seem very good. There's plenty of players in the youth squad who look as good, if not better than him. One of whom we did promote as well, actually. So Alex Petit is another player we've brought up from the youth squad. An exciting prospect. So we will take a look at him, and Brett Gibbs can be on the move. That'll be another chunk of money that goes towards that objective. Maya Walter we like. Ryan Lancaster is sticking around, and then we've got Brendan Clark as well. So actually we've got Petit can go out on loan, so we're going to have just Walter, Lancaster and Clark as our wingers. I do want to add another winger though, so it could be that we send another one of these guys out on loan, because I'm not sure we need 5 wingers. I think probably we can actually sell Noah Cook as well. I don't see him being part of the team going forward. We're going to have Jake Dale this year, Daniel Jefferson, and Samson Tavide is going to be out on loan. So the squad seems to have shrunk significantly. We've had a number of departures, and we do only have 3 players down in the reserves. I think we're going to stick with the 5-2-3 as we move forward. And I think the first port of call is going to be to buy a centre-back, a centre midfielder and a winger. So if we just arrange the squad how we're going to want it this year, we need a defensive midfielder in there. Jasper Shields can be the holding player for now. And then we've got Sam Ford, Mayo Walter, Daniel Jefferson and just a winger on the bench. We do also need a goalkeeper, because we just have the one right now in Roman Hewitt. A goalkeeper is somebody that I would like to bring in on loan. So I'm actually going to start out by looking for a loan goalkeeper. I'd like a good, experienced, talented goalkeeper to come in and be our starter. Because Roman Hewitt, he was poor last year. He just didn't really get it done for us, to be honest. So let's just scout some of these guys. This guy looks good, actually. He's young. He's not... I was expecting to bring in a more experienced goalkeeper. You know, a 30-something-year-old in on loan from a championship club, for example. But there's a lot of good young goalkeepers there who look all right. Alphonse Areola. West Ham go down into the championship. That's interesting. Daniel Barden might be a decent shout. Bazunu, I'm not sure if he starts for Southampton. He would be a good signing. Angus Gunn is still going to be the starter for Norwich, I would imagine. Daniel Iverson from Luton might be decent. I'm not seeing a massive amount of really good options down here, to be honest. So West Ham have got Areola and Nathan Trott. I mean, I guess I'll scout them both. Danny Ward is exactly the kind of player that I had in mind. And Freddie Woodman I quite like, but I'm not sure if Preston have another goalkeeper that they can start ahead of him. We also need to set some scouting instructions. So I would like a midfielder, because we do have to sign a crucial midfielder. So I want a wide midfielder, but somebody that we can move forward to a wing position. And I would like them to have something like rapid or quick step. And I think that's going to be under physical. So we'll look for a midfielder with some physical play styles, who is first team quality. We don't currently have any scouts out anywhere, so let's send them out to England. Let's send George Bond up to Scotland. And I tend to quite like sending a scout out to the USA as well. But he is currently busy, so both those scouts are busy. I do also want to send our youth scouts out as early as possible as well. So we'll set up a scouting mission in England. I think I'm just going to do the same 3 places in Scotland and in the US. Doesn't matter too much where these guys go, to be honest. And I think that is about all we need to check on right now. Let's just take a look and see if we have any additional coaching vacancies or you know, capacity positions, and we don't. We're still full on coaches, so that'll do for now. We'll see as these scout reports roll in on these goalkeepers. Swansea is a much more realistic destination for Jasper Shields, so we'll accept that. Alex Petit doesn't want to go out on loan, but he's not going to get game time here. Why do we keep getting loan offers for Dorset? I don't think I have him on the loan list. But potentially I do. Where am I going? Dorset. Oh, submitted a loan request. Oh, That's really frustrating. So Jasper Shields does go to Swansea. I mean, that's not too unrealistic. It's frustrating that we have to sell him, but a club like Swansea coming in for a promising young talent from the league below is not the worst thing. And already our performance is under close observation. The season's just started. This is so frustrating. So frustrating. I mean, I barely got a chance to do anything in Season 3 here. Oh, Alex Lowry was somebody that I was really interested in. He didn't want to leave Rangers. I mean, the first thing, actually, to be fair, would be to have another look at our shortlist here and see if there's any players that we can pick up who we have already been interested in. Yeah, a lot of players just unwilling to relocate at this time. Yeah, same for Alex Lowry. Yeah, there's not a great deal on the shortlist already that we can kind of take advantage of, to be honest. To be fair, we could sign a central midfielder as our crucial player. So we could just set up another instruction for left wing. I'm just going to set it up as first team quality, and I'm going to do the same thing for right wing as well. A couple of players here already that we have looked at before. I do want pace though. I need blistering pace. T out on loan to San Jose Earthquakes works well for me. I think we just need to hit some objectives as soon as possible, to be honest. And that's going to get our manager rating up again, enough to keep Hans Newman his job. I think as long as we have a positive start to Season 3, we should be okay. So we get 1.5 for Gibbs as well, potentially here. Got another offer for Dorset, and that is just that loan offer that we negotiated. So Petit can indeed go out on loan to San Jose Earthquakes. Cook gets an offer from Northampton. So we've sold currently 3 million in terms of youth squad players. We'll try and make it, what, 3.75? And then we just need another 500,000. It doesn't look like we're going to get that much. Let's try and bump it up a bit, maybe to 650 at least. And they're sticking at 500, so we're just going to have to accept that. I think we only need to sell another youth player for 750,000 though. Let's actually check out the youth squad again as well, because there might be players here who we can promote. And they all seem to be wingers. Yeah, there's no one down here really that we can promote to the first team, to be honest. Except maybe to sell on immediately, like Will Curtis and Jose Bishop. I mean, it's worth a try, to be fair. So I'm going to promote these guys to the senior team and have a closer look at our wingers. So we've got Brendan Clark, who I think looks good. He's actually very pacey, so maybe we don't necessarily need to go after a winger. Maybe we just go with Brendan Clark over Ryan Lancaster as the starter. Maya Walters, relatively quick as well, not the quickest. Petit is going out on loan. We've got Bishop in. He's 17 years old and just 62 overall. Not very pacey at all. So let's add him to the transfer list. And then one I think was just a midfielder, that's Will Curtis. So he can be added to the transfer list as well. So if we sell those, then we should be able to meet that objective. I did notice our manager rating has gone up slightly there as well. We're 70% towards meeting that objective. We see at the top there, which is good. Cook transfer offer for 520. I'm just going to accept that. It's more than we got from Northampton, so I'd be happy enough with that. Let's check out the objectives then. Have I already met an objective on the youth development? I haven't. So yeah, we are just moving towards that objective at the moment. Louis Barry is somebody that I want to scout. He looks very pacey. Gregorio Lopez we need to look at as well. Same here for Raymond, although he doesn't look quite as good. The youngster here at Arsenal doesn't look particularly pacey though. David Morozov looks very pacey. He's exactly the kind of player that we're looking for. And then in terms of right wingers, Lewis Henderson looks good. And there's not too much else there, to be honest. Let's have a look just for players who might be available on loan. We're going to start in the Championship. Just a striker here from West Ham who we'll check out. And a striker here from Bristol who we can check out. I'm not particularly interested in bringing a striker in on loan, just because we're so secure up front. I wouldn't hate bringing Paris Magoma back in, and actually I might look to do that on a permanent deal. It's going to be worth actually looking for free agents as well. Because we just need to improve the squad any way that we can, really. We can't be too picky about how we bring players in. What are the positions we need the most? We need centre-back for certain. The thing is, when you tend to bring in players on frees, and they're just so hard to find as well, they tend to want like a crucial squad role. And that just causes issues later down the line, because then you don't always play them and then they just get annoyed, and then it ends up being more hassle than it's worth. I think I'll set another set of instructions here for my scouts, and that will be to find a centre back. Oh, you can't set tall anymore, can you? It's going to have to be physical playstyle. I really wish they kept the options to filter for like tall, pacey, prolific, that kind of thing. But they've changed it just to the playstyles. Andy Smith doesn't look too bad. I feel like maybe he's already on our shortlist. I'm really looking for good deals at centre-back, to be honest. Owen Wolf is somebody I think looked very good before, but we can only get him if we play his release clause, and we're not paying that much. This guy looks half decent, but he doesn't look amazing at anything. Can we get this guy in on loan? Potentially. So Mamadi Diambu possibly on loan. Oh, we're up to 7 million. Also, I kind of forgot that we'd be getting more money by selling players. So actually, I didn't really necessarily want that. This guy looks alright though, to be fair. He's kind of like Paris Magoma from last year. So we've actually got a decent amount of money to spend. And I might even look at buying this goalkeeper Nathan Baxter, because we could get him for a decent price, I think. We will play a pre-season tournament. And I think we'll just try and take on the one with the most prize money because we could use it. I think we're going to see Noah Cook leave here. So there's Dorset going out on loan. I think Noah Cook is going to go as well. We had notifications saying that transfer talks have broken down, but there were 2 active negotiations. So that's potentially one of them. And the other went through, but maybe not. Transfer talks with Northampton are broken down. Alex Petit is going out just on a 1-year loan. So this, I believe, is going to be Diambu coming in on loan from Everton. So that's bolstering our central midfield. Very much in the Paris Magoma, Brandon Anderson kind of mould. And we're only paying 40% of his wages, which isn't bad at all. Although that is 10k. He might even be our highest paid player. It probably is going to be, yeah, by a fair distance. And he's only a 68 overall. I get a little bit too hasty with transfers sometimes. Will Curtis can go to Stockport for 1.25 million. They're actually lowballing us a little bit here. But I'm actually just going to accept that anyway. And that should achieve that objective for us. I'm wondering where these scout reports are for the goalkeepers. It's taken an awfully long time for these reports to come in. I really want Alex Lowry, like, so bad. Louis Barry, I think, is going to turn out to be a really good player, and we could potentially get him in on loan. I might try and get him on a loan to buy, because I think he looks really good. I've not even scouted him fully yet, but I think he looks really good. Again, we'll try and get him on like 40%. They'll go 50-50, which I guess I'll be happy with. And then a transfer fee. I think maybe it said his release clause was 5 million. And 3 million is a reasonable offer. So potentially a winger brought in there in Louis Barry from Premier League Aston Villa. So that could be a really good signing for us. Saving some money as well, because we're just bringing him in on loan for now. So that will free up some money to spend elsewhere. Looks like our scouts are all busy now. Ibrahim Hawkins looks bad. I think we do definitely need to upgrade these scouts at some point, and there does go Noah Cook. So we did agree a transfer, but prefer to go to Bristol Rovers rather than Northampton. And we do get an extra 20k, so it's not bad for us either. Petit actually rejects the loan to San Jose Earthquakes. No, he actually already went out on loan to somebody else, so that's actually fine. Jose Bishop as well, we get an offer for $1 million. That I'm just going to accept. We were lowballed a little on the previous guy, Will Curtis, I think his name was. But we get a bit of an overpay there from the second offer, which makes up for it. So we should easily hit that youth development objective now. There goes Will Curtis to Stockport. And we get another offer for Jose Bishop here, which again we'll just accept. And we have hit that objective. So that's one objective met already this year. And we've signed 2 players towards that second objective as well. So good start to the season, and our manager rating is creeping up a little. And we do bring in another loanee here. So 2 Premier League loanees with players coming to us from Everton and now Aston Villa. So Louis Barry, promising young winger from Aston Villa, 70 overall with 87 pace. So he's and 72 dribbling. 65 shooting as well. This guy actually looks really good. He's exactly the kind of player I wanted to bring in this off-season. We've got a transfer offer there for Garbutt as well. We cannot afford to sell him whatsoever. So, it's 3.5 million though. Can we afford not to sell him? So Luton come in with a 3.5 million offer for Michael Garbutt. We just don't have players in midfield though. We've got Diambu now. Oh my god, our squad is absolutely threadbare. We've got 4 centre midfielders. We could do a lot with 3.5 million though. I don't think we can afford to sell him. Do we have any play styles on Louis Barry? We do. We have 4. Finesse shot, technical, quick step and flair. So he's going to start on the right for us. Eli Just is going to start on the left. Jake Dale through the middle. Garbutt and Anderson in midfield. So Royer, Cartwright, De Silva, Taylor, Key. I think we need a really good goalkeeper. I think we need a really good centre-back. And I think we need just some depth other than that. So I think it's been a good start to Season 3. We've got some stuff done. We've met some objectives. Korchu and Many going for 105 million there. And we've added a couple of good players to the squad. So I think we're going to leave episode... I guess this is Season 3, Episode 1. It's Episode 41 of the Redmont Rangers Road to Glory career mode. But Season 3, Episode 1, I guess. And I think we're going to leave it there. What I'm going to do is play through the pre-season. You don't need to see all the pre-season games. And I'll continue kind of scouting players, adding them to my shortlist, finding players that we want to add to the team, and then we'll pick it back up in August when we take on Wycombe Wanderers at home. So that'll be it in the next episode. We'll have a real start to Season 3. Really trying to get promoted to the Championship this time around. Failed on our first attempt, but we're going to make sure we do it on the second attempt, and I would agree with the board. We want to try and win the league title this year. So I'll get a couple of players on the transfer list. I'll put in some offers, and we'll see what the squad is looking like at the start of the next episode. So until then, take it easy.